Alright, let's try this again. Okay, cool, we are back. If anyone is out there and wants to have a chat that they can, we'll pop it out so we can actually see you guys. Alright, we should be live. And yeah, I need some help. That's why we're here live today. We're going to have a bit of a chat. I honestly have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do about my trades this week. So hopefully there's a few people out there who can help me out. Yeah, we don't really know what we're going to do. This is the trade that we talked about during our trade video that we put out yesterday. Check that one out if you like. We went through all the downgrade possibilities and the upgrade possibilities for this week, as well as what I thought I was going to do, and this is what I decided on as of yesterday. Now it's Wednesday morning. Teams obviously still aren't out yet. We'll get one set of teams today, and then for the Thursday night game, I assume there's a Thursday night game. There always seems to be these days. Hate those Thursday night games. And then we'll get the rest on Friday. But yes, at the moment, that's what we put down, but we really aren't sure. So what if we cancel this? Oh, we confirm to get rid of it. Let's get the team back to where it was. What are we going to do, crew? What are we going to do? I mean, obviously the strategy we want is to get as many rookies off the field and many primos on. Now, that's going to help me with my overall score. If we have a look at my overall score, we're at season rank 6,245, which is probably not too far off the top team. 14,822, 14822 is the total score. Is there some way that we can see? We go into update team, can we see rankings? Yeah, who's at number one? Number one's got 15,500, so wow, that's I mean, it's not crazy amount. Not a crazy amount. What is it? 15517. Take my score. 14822. He's 695 points ahead. And if we look at his team, does it tell us the value of his team, which would be interesting? No, it doesn't tell us the value of his team. A quick look at his team. Yep, seems reasonable. My back line seems better than his. Seems reasonable too. Seems fairly a similar midfield. Same rucks. He's got Horn Francis and I don't. Otherwise, we kind of have... Oh, he's got Cherry here. That's his Xeri. That's the difference. He's got him here. That's a big difference. But besides that, our teams look very similar. And he's got the top team. So he must have been very good with his captain scores. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very similar. So, you know, he must have just had a bit of a luck with his captain scores, really. And having the three big rucks has probably helped him out a lot as well. So, alright, let's go back to my team. So my drama, the drama is, do we go Warner? Not this Warner, not this C Warner, the other C Warner, Chad Warner. Or a lot of people are saying it's a bit of a trap and they're staying away from it. Everyone's saying that Petrarca is the better pick. I mean, for me, it's one or the other. I could do some other crazy stuff, but I'm not going to do it. Like, we could do some crazy stuff. Like, crazy stuff would be either getting rid of Dale or Oliver. So, say we got rid of Dale, and then we swung like a She or a Sinclair back. And then we got the rookie. Went early on Huswaite. Go early on Huswaite. Complete that trade. And then that's if we go, then we could, how much money does that leave us? We've got 400k. We could go up from Murphy Reed to, well, like I said, everyone's saying Petrarca. I can kind of understand, we'll go into that a little bit more, who I think is better in a second. We could go Petrarca. I would have 200k left, so if we can complete that trade. And then I could potentially get, depending on who I dropped, let's say I dropped Trainer, which again I don't want to do. We've already kept him and we put Patton back there. We could get Corey Warner as well, to be honest, or a Kennedy or someone else. So we could get them, a Chad Warner, not a Corey Warner. You don't want to be getting Corey Warner. Please don't make that mistake. Yeah, we could get him as well. So we could get them both, but I kind of think it's a little bit crazy to be getting rid of Dale. I think we have to keep Dale. I saw some stats from some other content creators saying that the stadiums that Dale's got coming up, he plays very well, and halfbacks play very well at. So he could be up for a big score, and we know what happens when I trade out my premiums. They instantly get 150, so I don't want to be doing that again. If we do it again, you'll get 150. We know you'll get 150. So, yeah, so we don't really want to do this trade. So we'll call this option 1. We don't like option 1, and we're pretty much not going to do option 1. All right. So confirm getting rid of those trades. Now I had the other trade. The other trade was where we just get Warner in. Just get Chad Warner in, because we can afford to do that with one up, one down, one up. We cannot afford to get, well, we can if we get rid of Trainer instead of Corey Warner. I think we can afford to get Petrarca, but we really wanted to keep Trainer for a few more weeks. So get rid of Trainer. Again, move Patton back up there. Patton's not going to play this week because he's injured, so I forgive him for his 36 score, even though we waited for ages for him to come back. And he came back, and then he had an ankle injury. So, does it have a time? Time's to be confirmed. So, at least we can use him as to get a loophole. So, Trainer, get him off the field. And then Murphy Reed, get him off the field. Again, we need to go Huswaite early if we want to do this. We're not super happy about going Huswaite early. Let's put it that way. I'm not thrilled about having to do that. Anything can happen at Supercoach. He can get injured, he can get dropped, he can be made the sub. So, and then we could afford, so this way we could afford Petrarca, but we're getting rid of a rookie that I still think that, we've got money to be made there. That would be the trade. I still think we've got money that can be made. And so, I don't think that's the best plan. And I'm still undecided who I think's better out of Petrarca or Warner. I think they both have positives and they both have negatives against their name. So, yeah, so they're the 3 trades that I'm looking at. Oh, and there's one more trade that we could do. That trade would be undo, confirm. The other trade we can do is no trades. None. 0. A big nada. Yep. So, this is also an option, but let me show you something. The guy, I haven't showed you much about talked much about my league since I've been doing video, but I have one. As you can see, I'm in a few leagues, but the one I really care about is this one here. This league is with all my good friends. There's about 12 of us. I think I'm going to sneeze, so I apologise in advance if I'm going to sneeze here. Okay, prepare. I still may sneeze. It still might come. So yeah, I'm thinking. To find you. So I know probably 12. The 12 of the people in this league are my good friends. Then we do have a few randoms. And this is my league's really important to me. As you can see, I'm coming 6th, but I'm on 16 points, and a heap of people on 16 points, right down to 10th that's on 16 points. So I've already played the top 2 teams who both beat me. Both beat me reasonably well. And you can see all of these guys are good players. Brad, Dave, Jace, big shout out to those boys. I've got some very good players in my league. Matt is a very good player. Mark, this is who I play this week. So wrong, so right. It's a good name for a team, right? So wrong, so right. He is a very good player as well. So we have to be aware he's going to mop the floor with us if we don't, if we're not careful. If we have a look at the game day, So here we go, us versus So Wrong, So Right. So Wrong, So Right. I like the name. Hard to say, but it looks good. All right, so now if we looked at the uniques, we have a lot of uniques. Now, how many wires we got? Seem to have one more on the field than he does. He doesn't have a lot of rookies. If you're looking down here, where are the rookies on the field for him? Cleary, one, and probably another one coming in for that gap. That's his only rookie on the field, really. Me, we got Hewitt, we got Carroll, we got Hewitt and Carroll. So we got 2, and he's possibly going to have, he's possibly going to have 2 as well. So that looks okay, but he probably will trade this week. So if he gets in a Petrarca or a Warner or something like that, he's going to be in a good situation to beat me. Now he's held Horn Francis and Finn Callahan, which I dumped both of them, and they're both punishing me at the moment. So it's going to be tight. Why am I only predicted? This is because we haven't adjusted our team yet. That's why we're predicted to get such a low score. If we actually look at the predictions, but it's not going to really match up because of he's got the one off the field. But if we go vice captain, which is probably the way we're going to run, and then we go back here and reload it. Saying still reckons he's going to beat me by 100 points. Not too sure how it seems to think. Just think that without, must be counting this person here. So I really want to beat Mark this week to keep me. If we don't, we are going to drop down quite a bit. A lot of people will drop down probably maybe into 12th or 14th spot in this league. So the leagues are really important to me, and I would really like to win. I mean, we all want to win. We all want to win Supercoach, right? We all want to win the 50k. We all want, the round score of $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever it is. But it's not easy to do. There's 187,000 people. We're already, what did we decide? We're about 600 points off the top team, which is not a huge amount. If we came out and smashed a few good captain scores and got a few big like 2,500s, we could easily catch that top team. But more than likely, it wouldn't take very much more for him to get far ahead, and I wouldn't be surprised if the value of his team is quite a bit more than mine. If we have a look at the team, we'll go back here, we'll have a look at a team like this. My team's worth 12,143,000. So say someone's got a team worth 12,600,000. That's one more premium that they've already got on the field than me, and that's a massive advantage. So this is why we're in this dilemma. Do we trade? Don't we trade? Do we get Petrarca? Do we get Warner? I mean, I'm not really thinking of anywhere else. We had one more trade where if we had done that, the trade I showed you where we got rid of Dale, which we're not going to do, but if we decided to lose our mind and get rid of Dale, we could get in not Petrarca or Warner, but we could get in Lockie Neal, and have Lockie Neal. That way it's almost like a straight swap. I move Sinclair or a Sheasel into the back line and I get a Lockie Neal here. But I'm really worried that Dale's going to come out and get some form and smash some scores, especially with his upcoming grounds and where he's going to be. So to try and help us work out what we're going to do, let's have a look at both Warner and Petrarca and see if we desperately need them. See if they're going to go up, so they're going to be untouchable in price. Like if I could still get them next week, let's have a look. So if we have a look at Petrarca, alright, let's have a look here. If you're out there and you want to say g'day in chat, please do. Be nice to hear from everyone. Look, chat's working, right? Yep. Hi. I know it's usually more interesting when people do live videos if they've got someone to banter with, but if you're out there and even if you think you can offer me a bit of help, I know it's during the day, most people are probably working or whatever, but if you're watching and you can offer me some advice, I'd really like it, because I really don't know what to do. So anyway, let's look. Petrarca, break even of 70. So he is going to go up. He's projected to get a 97. He's playing West Coast, so he could easily get more than that, and he'd go up by 12k. Okay, now let's have a look and let's predict he's going to get more than that. So he got 130 last week. Let's say he just goes 120 this week. So let's say, so a nice even 120. So that's at 23 more points than what he's actually projected to get, which means about another 10k. So he'll go up by 22k or around 22k, in that ballpark, a 1,000 or so each way, either less or more. So we're gonna have to pay instead of paying, we're gonna have to pay 520 for him. If next week we decide we want to get him next week, if we held out and didn't trade this week, and he comes out, smashes 120, we'll have to pay about 520 for him. Other advantages for getting Petrarca would be, apparently his midfield time has increased over the last couple of weeks. I did have one here, we've got it set up here in DFS. The CBAs, so he went from 50 and 65 to 82 and 79. So he's not mucking around up forward anymore. He's right in the guts, and he's staying in the guts. And if we look at his heat maps, they should right in the guts. And we don't care about you. Right in both of them, right in the guts. Look at that. That's where you want to see him for a good score. So that looks really good, and I like that. His scores so far have been pretty average, but so before these last two rounds, They're actually quite consistent. Like, so this year he's got a 98, 78. You don't like to see that. So how many CBAs? Only 50% of the time. 50% for an 80, 50% CBAs for a 90, 65% for a 96, and then 82% for a 94, and 129. So it's looking good, isn't it? Does look good. So I do like it. I do like the pick. He seems to have a fairly high floor, like that, you know, I'd assume at the 80% CBAs, this 90, 94 is going to be around his floor. We won't count the 78 because he only had 48% CBAs. All these ones here. The first game of the season, he had 80% CBAs, he got 98. And what if we go back to past seasons? Where's he had big scores? He had 80% CBAs, he got a 140, 75%, he got 146. Is he kicking lots of goals to do that? No goals, that's nice to know. He got a 140 with only one goal, that's good to know. So he can score. I mean, here he only had 45% CBAs and got 146. And only scored one goal. Don't know how he did that. Maybe the last goal must have been the most won the game. As you can see though, if you go back to 23 and 24, when he has a lot of CBAs, he's usually around over 100. So that looks pretty good, right? That looks pretty good. Now, if you're bored of me talking, I did put the AFL top goals and top 50 goals and top 50 marks there for you to watch. So if you want to watch that and just ignore everything I say, please go ahead. But if you think you can help me out here, crew, maybe you could tell me if you're thinking of going Petrarca or Warner. So that's Petrarca. Petrarca looks good. The more I look at his stats, the more he looks good. And he seems to be on the one that everybody's jumping on. You know, he seems to be the one that, you know, a lot of the other content creators are saying Warner's a trap. They don't like Warner. They're all jumping on Petrarca. So let's have a look at Warner. Okay, so just like Petrarca, his CBAs have increased from, you know, around the 50%-ish mark, 44, 33. Here he had 68, 54. So 68 is close to 70, 70, 78. In those games, he's got 122, 71, and 121. So the last two games, and he's played, if we're looking at his heat maps, right in the guts. And in the guts, but all over the place. All over, look at him, all over the shop. Oh, that was last week. All over the shop he was when he scored the 121. So, you know, also, are we still looking at Warner? Yep. And then he scores. So he scores when he had 70 and 78 CBAs. It's a 71, which is a low, as opposed to Petrarca. That's quite low for the amount of CBAs. And 121 last week when he had the 78%. So, you know, the other thing, I was kind of hoping Mills might come back this week and like take some or help him out there in the midfield. I would think if someone's going to go forward, surely you put Heaney forward because he's very dangerous forward. And if you're going to tag someone, well, if Heaney's in the midfield, surely you tag Heaney. But I could understand if they're going to tag Warner as well. And this week he has GWS. So if the Bedford tag goes to him, he could easily get a 70 again. Doesn't matter how much time he spends in the midfield. Doesn't matter how many times CBAs he gets. If the Bedford tag goes to him, he could get a very low score. And so if he got that low score, what could we pick him up at next week? So if we go Warner, get the right one. Make sure you get the right one. So he's got a 79 break even. If we have a look, So if he gets an 88, which obviously you would hope he would get more than that, say he has a good game, gets 110. That is 22 points more, another 20, another 10k. He'll go up about 13k. If he got 110, he'll go up about 13k. So less than Petrarca. Both of those numbers don't scare me too much. I mean, if he came out and smashed 150 and went up 30k or something, that would be not great. So if we go back and look at his past scores as well, we go back to make sure we're looking at him. Yep. So last season 2024, he has 81, 135, 100, a 99, a 172. So he has got a high ceiling. We can't debate that he has a high ceiling. On a good day, he can smash a big score. And then he's gone off. That's 90% off 73% CBAs. I don't know, 56% CBAs, he gets a 144. He kicked 2 goals for, that's how he did it that time. So he can kick goals if he goes forward. Why you would put him forward over Heaney, I don't know, I'm not too sure. Maybe that's a thing, maybe there's something I'm not seeing there. But then he's also got this 64 here, that's off 48% time CBAs. 60%, so he has had here's a 90 of 79%. In the 60s, he's kicked. He has played quite a bit forward in these past rounds, and when he does score goals, he does get good scores. 38. Why would he have got a 38 in this game against the SCG? I don't know. Maybe he got tagged. 78%. See, he's in the middle and he gets a 38. Time on ground. Where's the time on ground? 80%. Wow. That's a worry, isn't it? If you can spend 80% on the ground, you're a midfielder, you're in the guts, and you get a 38. You want to pray that he's been hard tagged there by someone in Sydney. A 164 here. A 114, 100, all these. But he seems to every second week go and play forward. Honestly, it's every second or third week. He's playing midfield, half midfield, half forward, half midfield, half forward, half midfield, half forward, 50-50. This one's a little bit more close to 70 midfield. That's this year. So last year, he seemed to go back and forward quite a bit. And this year, it's kind of happening again. So here's midfield, here's 50-50, forward midfield, same, back to midfield. So it's tough. I mean, we could get him, and it looks like he might be a little bit of a pod, because, how many people are picking him? Everyone's going Petrarca. Let's just face it. Everyone's going Petrarca. If we go Warner, we're going against the grain. At the moment, right as we speak, he's only in 3% of teams, and how many people are getting him in this week? Only 4,000 people so far have decided to get him in, so it's still not a lot. He's still not going to be in a lot of teams. Definitely a pod, as opposed to Petrarca. Let's see how many millions of people are getting Petrarca in. Thanks for everyone for hanging out with me and joining and watching. We thought we'd go live just because we are so indecisive of what we're going to do. We thought we'd hopefully, I know it's a bad time of day, but hopefully we'd find someone out there who might be able to help us tip us over one or the other, or neither. Don't forget, our other option is to trade in neither. But as for our overall score and for winning our league this week, I think, if I had a really easy beat in my league this week, I might just take the hit in the overall score and not do it. But I've still got 3 boosts, so I can boost next week and go 2 down and 2 up, and wait for the Hust weights and stuff to make sure they're good, and the buslingers of the world to see if they're going to play, their 3rd game. Anyway, what are we looking at here? We are looking at, we want to know how many people Petrarca, so 13,000 people have already got him. Almost 10%. If there's 180,000-ish teams this year, people playing, almost 10% of people have got him in. And at this point, at this time, which might even be before, this could be before that. I don't know if they add that. This could be as of the last round. 13% of people already had him. So if it is the last round, if you're 13 plus another 10%, if that's the way it works, if you guys know if that's not the way it works, if that number up there is already incorporated in this number, or if this is as of last round, and this is the people, that number up the top, this number is the people getting him in this round. So if that's the case, that 10% plus the 13% is 23% of people will have him. So that's another thing. Do I want to go with the pack, or do I want to go a little bit of a pod? Do I want to listen to my other content creator friends and believe that Warner is a trap? And there's no reason why. I could get Warner this week with the 1 up, 1 down and keep Trainer, which is, we got to think about, if to get Petrarca I have to get rid of Trainer. I kept him last week and he went down money. Now he will go down money again this week, but then he's going to go up. So, we lost. I sort of said in our videos last week, you either culled him last week or you keep him for the next 4 weeks or until the buys or whatever. So even though I'm saying that, I still might break my own rules like we do. When Buslinger comes next week, I don't know. I'm going to have to get rid of, if I want Buslinger, I'm going to have to get rid of Reed or Trainer. Maybe I'll get rid of Reed as he's made more money. Who knows? But if he comes out and smashes another 80 or 90, I don't know how we can do it. But so anyway, he lost 3k, Luke Trainer, this week. After that, 2, which was unfortunate. And if he gets to 65, 64, which is reasonable for a rookie, I mean, he's showing that that's around about what he'll get on a normal day, and he can go bigger on a good day. He'll go down another 9.5k. Yeah, so in total, you've lost 13k there. You've lost 13k. But then if he gets another 65 the week after, bang, he automatically goes up 20k. So you've made 7k. So you just have to hold him to that round 9, and more than likely his cash gen's going to go up. You'll get a 7k, and then the week after 14k. And this is just a 65. This is if he comes out and smashes 100 or gets a 80 or a 90. Then it's going to go up even more. And playing in the back line in Richmond, I mean, he's probably going to see a fair bit of ball, and he's looked pretty good. I don't know if you guys have been watching him. He's looked pretty good. He seems to know where the ball is and get the ball. So I don't really want to get rid of him. I really like holding on to him for a little bit longer. I mean, potentially, even if it's 65s, when's his buy? If we held him to his buy in round 14, 309 it's saying, just on an average of 65, so we would get another almost 50k. We would save one trade and make 50,000 extra dollars, which sounds pretty good, right? Now, as opposed to if we get Warner, we swap him for the other Warner, which yes, may be confusing, swapping C Warner for C Warner, but let's have a look. Warner, he's not really doing much. He's got a break even of 56. He might not even get that break even. Let's look at his scores. He's had a 50, a 72, a 56, a 35, a 65, a 21, and a 55. So he's only beat his break even. What do we say? It was 56 for break even? So he's only beat his break even. Well, that's even. He's evened it. So twice since he started playing. Now, he showed he can get a 70. So, if I trade him out, just like I did Stone last week, he's bound to come out and get a 70. It's going to happen, right? It's just going to happen. If anyone's out there watching, just say hi in chat. I just want to make sure the chat is working. Nobody's talking to me, but that's fine. People who know me will say that I talk enough for everybody. So that's why I don't I mean, he does have his advantages, Corey Warner. He is a dual position player where I can, swap him around from the forward line to the back line or do whatever I want. Adds a bit of flexibility to the team. But do I think he's going to go up any more in scoring? He could literally go down. If he got another 40 or 30, he could go down. And unlike Trainer, where I'm quite confident the Trainer's score will start to go back up again, I'm not very confident that Corey Warner's score is going to ever score. We saw he got 170. He could get another 5 or 6 40s, and we'd have to get rid of him anyway. So that's the easiest trade. The trade that I think makes me the most money in the long run is the trade where we get rid of Reed and Warner, go early on Hustwaite, and get the other Warner, get Chad Warner in. And we go for the pod. We hope that he doesn't get tagged by Bedford this week. We hope that that we can potentially, maybe Petrarca doesn't go as big as we want him to, or as we think he's going to go against the Eagles. Maybe the Eagles can tag him. Maybe I'll have a chat. I'll run down the stadium and ask them to tag him for us. Even though that'd be kind of silly, wouldn't it, for the Eagles to pretty much to tag anyone. They got their own problems. Midfielders are struggling to get the ball themselves. So that's my dilemma, and I really don't know what to do, crew. Do I not trade at all? Not trading at all, I think, is also fair. I think both of them will go up, but they're not going to go up by a stupid amount unless they get a stupid score. Like, if they get 120s, I think we said Petrarca goes up by about 20. They both go up by about 20k, I think we decided, right? So it doesn't make them untouchable. The other thing I need to take into account. So if we want to have a quick look at my forward line, it is, if I got Corey Warner, say I get Warner, obviously we're not having him as a gun mid. We don't want him as a gun mid. He's going to be in the forward line. So let's do this. Let's do that trade again. We will get rid of Reed. Get rid of Corey Warner. And I have to admit, if you're asking my advice, it would be not to go early on Hustwaite. I think he's gonna play. I mean, we haven't seen the sheets yet, but I mean, almost sure he's gonna play because he's covering for Nash, unless he's has an injury or something. But doesn't mean the week after. What if Nash comes back early? What if he's made the sub? There's so many. You just don't know. What if he gets injured? You just don't know. You just don't know. And so anything can happen. So if we do this trade, then we've got Warner. Where are you, Warner? So we put him down there, and then we just chuck Hewitt on the bench over here. I think Hustwaite is up fair. I had a good look at him too in the game he played this week, and he had CBAs and everything. I think he's a reasonable option to have on field as well. If you do go early on him, I think you can have him on field. If I go early on him, I'm going to put him on field over Hewitt. This will be how I line up my team if I go early on him. I think this will be the safest. Hewitt can be up and down. Hewitt, I wouldn't be surprised if Hewitt gets 100 sooner or later. He's playing through that midfield. If they just leave him in there and he has a game like he did the second half, not last week, but the week before for the full game, he'll score 100 easy. But can he put a full game together is the question. Is he still a bit, from a limited pre-season, does he have the tank to go hard for a full game? And he's already, I noticed that, I don't know if you guys have noticed, being an Eagles supporter, I watch all the Eagles game. The beginning of every quarter last week, he sat on the bench for quite a while. His overall amount of minutes still was fine, but his time on ground overall was still fine. Let me have a quick look. But every quarter, he started on the bench. And he seemed to sit there forever, honestly, while I was screaming at the screen, get him off the bench. Get him off the bench. So time on ground, 72% and 75%. So that's not terrible. I mean, for a midfielder, I mean, he's never played more than that ever in any of the games. But he's still a young rookie, and he's been in the system for what? He's been playing AFL since 2023. So, and he'd been played waffle for the 2022. So, he's been around a little while now. Hopefully, if he builds up his fitness, even in those waffle, you don't get the waffle stats. The most time he's ever spent on ground, though, was 76%. So this 75% seems like normal then. And it seems to be what Mini's doing as well. He seems to be having those young midfielders only play about 75% on the field. So the thing I was getting to, which I got sidetracked about the whole Hewitt thing, is that I really got one more spot down here then, right? Say we go that way. So say we're keeping Marriage or Levi Ashcroft until the buys. Maybe we put Hewitt down here then for the moment. We need to upgrade this spot, but we're not going to get rid of any of these guys, right? Not unless it's a luxury trade at the end of the season. So to complete our forward line, we really need one more guy, not including luxury trades. So that would be, at the moment, either a Horne-Francis or Petrarca. So if I get Warner, it means I probably miss out on one of the other two, right? I'll have a choice. I can either get one or the other. So am I happy with that? Am I happy with missing a Petrarca or Horne-Francis? I mean, I know a lot of people are thinking about I heard a lot of talk about Caleb Dale and McRae this week. Definitely don't get rid of McRae. He's averaging 108. That's, more than some of my gun midfielders. It's more than Oliver, it's the same as Zorko, it's more than Roberts. So you're crazy if you're getting rid of McRae. And even Caleb Daniel, there's just no need to get rid of those boys at the moment. They're doing exactly what you want them to do, and they're going to come back and bite you on the backside if you do get rid of them. I promise, if you would like to get rid of them, if you want to help me out by making them get 150 this week, please get rid of them. But I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't be getting rid of them. So yeah, am I happy to... So I'm kind of potting it then. So I got a feeling that the forward lines are going to the top teams are going to look pretty similar, right? They're going to be Rank, Smith, McRae, Daniel, Petrarca, and Horne-Francis. That's what almost all forward lines are going to look like in the top teams, in the top couple of thousand teams within, either this week, next week, or by the end of the season. On current form, you would think that that's how it's going to go. If we have a look at, does the averages agree with us? If we were to go forwards and then average, so Luke Jackson, we take him out. Peter Wright, we wouldn't be going there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Matthew Kennedy, again, if people really wanted to go for a pod, they could. And then Caleb Daniel, and Petrarca's already up there, so Pickett, I don't think anyone's going here. There's not enough. I think that would be crazy. Darcy's now injured. I mean, Nick Martin, he only got a 53, but he could be, and he's in 5.8% of teams, he could be a nice little pod for your forward line. He's one that, if he kept a good role, if we knew he was going to get a role which was nice, basically that back Seagull role, the Zorko Whitfield Seagull role, hopefully the Sheasel Seagull role now. Please leave Sheasel back there, come on. Come on, leave the Shees back. You know, who wants Fisher in their team? Just leave the Shees back. So they're the ones. The only one out of that which I think is a possibility is Nick Martin. Why did he have a 50 this week? I mean, if I faded trading it all this week, potentially I could get him next week. I want to have a look at his heat map. Let's have a look at his heat map. Obviously, we would wait for him to go down in price. Nick Martin. How was your heat map? How's your heat map going, mate? Hope chat's working out there, crew. If you're watching, just chuck a hi in chat. Just a hi. Just so I can see that it's working. So, ooh, that's very wingy. He's all over the place. Not really a half-back roll, is it? It's kind of a... What do you call that? What is half-forward flank? Because that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. What does fan footy say? Nick Martin. Essendon. Helps if you look at the right team, Sean. Not involved much up to half time. 17 possessions between 12 kicks, 7 marks. Played roaming off the half forward flank. No, I don't like that then. That's too much of a worry that he's going to get low scores, and that's exactly what the Heat... I mean, try and guess what position he's playing here. Who would know? That obviously looks very wingy. It looks like a chicken wing to me. Hanging out there on the wing, that's terrible. How much did he score on that one? Round 7. Yeah, 50, hanging out there on the wing. The week before he got 145. So this game he got 145, where he was all over the fucking place. How can you go from one extreme to the other? You know, massive extremes from one to the other. So, you know, how's his scoring been? 95, 97, 92, 95, 100, and did I read that right? 97, 74, 91, 88, 108, 145, and 53. What about this heat map? So there he's really hard to pick where he's going to play. So that's a very risky one. I think I'd be more confident with the Petrarcas and even the Warners, just knowing that at least if they go forward, at least if they get that 50-50 midfield, 50 in the forward line split, that they can kick goals where it doesn't really look like Nick Martin's doing that. Did he have goals? In those big scores? 1. He's averaging 1 goal, actually, almost 1 goal a game. 1 goal except for round 1 and the last one. He's had 1 goal a game. Still, it's interesting, but I think again it's risky. It is risky. I'd like to see him settle on a roll first. Anyway, so I think they're my 3 options that I would look at to fill these 2 spots. So we got Petrarca, Warner, 4 of them. Horne-Francis or Nick Martin. 4 people for 2 spots. 4 people for 2 spots. Are any of those guys better than Caleb Daniel? Maybe. So maybe Caleb Daniel drops out, but maybe not now. Not now. That's a luxury trade for once the rest of your team is at full premium. And then you can go, oh, maybe I want a Horn Francis for a Daniel. Not now, because Daniel is still he's still got that role, he's still doing very well. If they change his role and they put him in the forward pocket and he starts getting 50s, sure, get rid of him, cash in. At the moment, there's no need at all. I mean, what's his break even? Break even's 95, so he's probably going to go down in cash, but I mean, not by much. You're close. Like, his lowest score of the season so far was an 81, which is last week. Before that was an 88, so, you know, if he gets 88, and we say break even is 95, he's going to go down about 5k, not a big deal. And then, you know, he only takes 100 or 110 and it will start going up a little bit again. Yeah, so having this major dilemma, crew. I don't know what to do. I mean, the other option is, so I'm predicted to get 2219 with this setup team. I don't take much into predictions, to be honest. Like, 2 weeks in a row I was predicted to go over 2,300 after the first game or so, and ended up right in this 2,200 mark. So, you know, it really depends, I mean, on how your players go and how your rookies go, because they just assume that your rookie's not going to get, you know, if we put this on, like they're saying, yeah, you know, Husway's going to get a 34, where I think he could easily get a 70, a 60 or a 70. You know, Lindsay's going to get a 54, could easily get a 80. Carroll's got, you know, 47, but he's actually averaging more closer to 65. So, you know, that don't pay too much attention to that. How's the rest of the team looking like? Do I have anywhere else that I really need to sort out? I can't do a loop in the back line this week, so I'm thinking we'll go Reed. We'll see if he can back up his 90 with another 90 or another decent score. If he gets some intercept marks and stuff, we think we'll probably get away with it. So we've got, our back line is kind of complete a little bit as well. So I had this plan early on the season, and I don't know if it's worked out for me, where we got the really good backline players and we put them in, we got them, and then we had these good rookies come along, so we moved them into the midfield. So we've got Sinclair, he can go back. Unfortunately, everyone's going to pick him up super cheap in a couple of weeks, where I paid like the max for him. Sheasel, I had a really good season, most of us did, but I still paid the max for him as well. So, I mean, in theory, if we moved, if Bias, even Bias is looking so good, you know, he's looking good enough to stay there for the moment. But if we say we sold off Bias, we can move. We have Sinclair and Sheasel in the back line. That's the back line done. If we got in Warner this week, Warner, and then say next week we have one of those others, Petrarca, Horn Francis, Nick Martin, get one of those guys. Put them in there next week or the week after, depending on what's going on. And then we just have to fill up the midfield, and hopefully then we're saving our money like a little hoarding money, and hopefully those players that we really want are going to come down in price, the Butters and the Bonts. I mean, if you said who do I want in my midfield at the moment, I'm keeping Brayshaw, I'm keeping Dacos, Sinclair and Sheasel can go to the back line, and then I've really got 6 spots in the midfield that need to be filled. 6 spots. Who do we want? Who would we want with those 6 spots, crew? Let's go back to as we'll change it from midfield to, I mean, obviously we want Bont and we want Butters. We want them, but we can't afford them. It's just the way it is, the way of the world. We want them, but we can't afford them. To do it, we'd have to blow up the structure of our team, and it could punish us further on down in the season when we've still got rookies on the field and other people don't. So as much as I would like to grab one of those boys, I just can't. I just have to pray that they get a tag. Maybe Bontempelli gets rested again this week like he did last week. He got subbed out in the last quarter. Kind of crazy that he was on 128 when he got subbed out, but you know, So that's a 160 score if he doesn't get subbed out as well. So, but it only takes one. Hopefully someone forgets about Rosie for a week, even though that would annoy me after getting rid of Rosie, and tags Butters and him. They get 100 and they drop down at, even a 90. I don't want anyone to get injured, but maybe, they have a bit of a bump or something and they sit on the bench for a while and just have a relax, or even just a rest like Bontempelli did last week. And that way, they get a 90 or 100, and that 100, it'll come down pretty quick. They'll be around 600k if that happens. If they have one bad score, or even better, 2 bad scores, that money will come down pretty quickly, and we're kind of all praying that it's going to happen just before the buys. Like if it happened in now or the next week, probably probably you want it to happen next week or the week after, and then wait a week or 2 for the price to go down, and then just snap them up after their buys. So they're definitely, what do we say? We needed 6. So that's 1, 2. We got Brayshaw. Hewitt, he has to be in the talk. He has to be in the discussion, right? The ones that I probably, it's not even really on here, but I know he gets the tag. I've seen what Merritt can do. I'd really like Merritt in the team. He's actually quite affordable this week if you were thinking about picking him up. What's his break even at after an 89 last? 150. Next week, Merritt is going to be a bargain. Ooh. Unfortunately, I don't have the money to get these bargains. I'm talking about getting the 500Ks, the 510, the 520Ks. Dunkley is an option for like next week as well. He might be close to 500k. A Dunkley at 500k, that's going to be hard to resist too. Like a Merritt at 550-ish, or a Dunkley at 500, that's going to be pretty hard. Do I have a choice between Dunkley or Petrarca, or Dunkley and Warner? Who am I going? All at 500k, that makes things a bit tricky. So that'd be Merritt. So we had Butters, Bont, Merritt, and then the other one I know he's susceptible to the tag, but also a very good price at the moment, Lockie Neal. They're probably going to be, that's 4. So then we would need 2 more to round it out, and then I think by the time that, you would just see who's in the best form, whether it's a Matt Brow or a Noah Anderson. Maybe Caleb Sarong starts killing it. Maybe Tom Green starts killing it. I think there's a few players that by the time that comes around, we'll see what their form is. Jordan Dawson is really, really cheap. If you thought that Jordan Dawson was a chance of getting, back into form, that'd be great. Finn Callahan, I don't want to look at you after trading you out. George Warlaw, I think this might be one of the reasons that Sheasel has been pushed back, and I'm hoping that he stays uninjured and stays in that midfield. I'm not picking him up, but I think he makes us get a higher score for the Cheese. The Cheese gets a higher score. Just checking. If you're out there, crew, and you want to say g'day in chat, please do. Maybe you're watching me at work or something like that. It seems to be working. Chat seems to be working. Works for me. Yep, it's working. Yeah, so I don't mind that. My defense is sorted. My forward line could be sorted within 1 week or 2 weeks, and then we just pick off those midfielders as we drop a defender back in the defence once these rookies dry up. Don't forget too, the other thing I'm not forgetting, Callum Mills. The Callum Mills, who was potentially going to play this week, but looks like he might not now. They're saying it's week to week. Last week he was supposed to train, but he didn't play. This week they're like he might train, but he might not. And so, I mean, I doubt whether he's going to play this week as well. But when Callum Mills comes back, I think you're going to want him. If he plays that midfield in the guts role, you're going to want him in your defence, which just might mean that either I need to leave one of these big boys, Sheasel or Sinclair, in the midfield, or maybe Dale. If Dale keeps, dropping turds every second week in the team, maybe Dale goes. Even if I sold out Dale for Mills, and Mills is about 150k, and made he's probably going to drop another 20k or something, Dale, but at least what's his break even? Hopefully he can get that. But say he doesn't get that and he drops it, so at least I'd make 100 grand, and I might be able to chuck that on the top of a rookie to get a primo midfielder, which is not going to drop these disgusting 70s. Not going to drop these disgusting 70s in my team. So yeah, so many decisions. I really don't know what to do. I wish somebody could help me. I mean, the two trades I like the best is this one. We'll take the pod. We'll get Warner. We hope that he keeps the midfield time. We hope Mills comes back in a week or so, and instead of taking his CBAs, gets in there with the midfield. Heaney plays more forward, and they let he takes some pressure off Warner. He gets the ball to Warner a little bit more. Goulden's not going to be back for ages, so if I'm not worried about him affecting Warner's score, because he's not due back for 7 or 8 weeks or something crazy. Should we have a look? Down to the Swans. Yee. Goulden, 6 to 8 weeks, so minimum 6 weeks. So if he came back in 6 weeks and they were like, oh, we're going to put Warner forward again, then I could kind of understand you might want to get rid of him then, which would be, hate to trade in a primo and get a primo out. That is the other thing too, if I'm getting Warner now, I really want to hold him for the rest of the season. I really don't want to have to trade him out. That would be almost a disaster. I don't think the rookies are making enough money for us to make too many luxury trades at the moment, which is another reason that I kind of like Warner as well, because he's that 40k-ish cheaper than Petrarca. That's an extra 40k I've got to spend on somebody else. So if it pays off, and he smashes 120s, most weeks, and has a low week of a 90, and occasionally he smacks a 150 or something, that's a big win. That would be a big win. But if for some reason Goulden does come back, Mills comes back, they decide they like Heaney in the midfield with them, and they chuck Warner up forward, that could be a bit nasty. Whereas Petrarca, I think, who else? In the midfield of Melbourne, that they got Oliver, Petrarca, and Viney. They're probably the three bigs, the three big boys. There's nobody coming back from Melbourne. That's their midfield. There's nobody coming back where they're going that's a big name. There's no Goulden coming back for the midfield for Melbourne, saying he's going to be right up there. Goulden will be the number one man. Surely he has been the last few years. He's been excellent. He might even be a trade-in target for after the buys if he comes back and he does a Bont and a Butters, and he's just in awesome form. He could easily be one that you're looking to pick up after the buys. Actually, now I think about it, I wouldn't mind him in my midfield if he could have his form over the same form he's had in the last couple of years. So decisions. Things I don't like about this trade is the uncertainty around Warner. I think Petrarca is a more safe pick. I hate going Hustwaite early. It just pains me to go Hustwaite early. What do you guys reckon? I'd love to know what you guys reckon. I think if we talk a little bit about what we've done wrong so far. Like, we paid up for Whitfield, we paid up for Sinclair. Beginning of the season, we paid up for Zorko. I think every year we tell us we're going to play the value game, and every year we know that past winners of Supercoach all play the money game. Moneyball. Have you seen the movie Moneyball with Brad Pitt and I think it's Jonas Hill? True story about a baseball manager who had a pretty average team. They had a team that could win, and they got rid of a lot of their really high-priced players and got a more across-the-board even team based on the averages. And they went and did really well. They, they were expected to get destroyed, and I don't know if they won, but they went really well. And this is how you should be playing Supercoach, really. You should be looking for the value, and that way you get more primos on the field. It means you get less of those rookie scores which punish you, like the 35 I had from Murphy Reed last week, which kind of hurt a little bit. So that's how we should have played, but we didn't. We played with our heart. We love our football. We love our Supercoach. We want we want those players. We want the expensive players in our team to get us big scores, because we just want them. Basically, we just want them. But if we were smart, we tried the mid-pricer. I don't think the mid-pricer failed this year. You want to go guns and rookies. You want to go guns and rookies, but in your guns, you want to be looking for your valued guns. So your fallen primos. I don't mind if it's a mid-pricer if it's a fallen primo. But we went Short and Perryman, which were both, they weren't fallen primos, they were just straight up mid prices. Too many, and if I'm going to go mid prices next year, already planning for next year, maximum of one in each line. Always think the set and forget ruck is the best. If you have to pay up for those two rucks, if you paid up for Gorn and Cherry, you're laughing this year. Obviously Tagoning's not doing too bad. We're still waiting to see if Pittnett's going to come back. I think at the end of the season, Cherry will score higher than Tagoning. I think it'll be Gorn and Cherry will be the number 1 and 2. I don't want to ruck in my flex at the end of the season like the number 1 team has at the moment, just for flexibility. If I was in the top couple of hundred places, if I was like in 200th or under the top 100 places, I might get Cherry. I might get him in the flex, because that would, that extra few points that he's going to generate, or when he has a big game at the 150, 160 pluses, that could be the difference between you, getting first place or not, and you would just be risking it. Whereas for me, I like to place high, but it's also my leagues are important. So being able to swap people around and get, if there is a disaster, get somebody off the field or on the field, or get to be able to trade in somebody that we really want in, if we have too many midfielders and another midfielder comes along. We've got that Brisbane midfielder coming back this week as well, right? What's his name? Kai? Is it Kai? Kai Lohman? Oh no. Who's coming back this week for Brisbane? Is it Kai Lohman? Brisbane. Yeah, it is him. Oh, he's more than what I thought he was. I thought No, Kitty Coleman. Kitty Coleman, that's who we're thinking about. Kitty Coleman. KEI. 269. That's better. I knew it wasn't 300k. So he might be someone you want in your back line, but I have to admit, his scores don't thrill me. If we look at last year, he's never been a huge scorer. So he was injured the whole year, out so he only got a 37, but that's, probably because he got injured that game. You go back to 2023, when he actually played a few games, 69, 47, 49, 64, 58, 65. He did get 100, but, he got another 100 here. He got a 94, got an 80. So towards the end of this season, he started to play well. But through the rest of the season, about a 60, 55 or 60 seems to be his average. So there's no way I'd be getting him in straight away. I definitely want to have a look at him for a few weeks, and I definitely want to be able to see at that price. I mean, 269. That's a very expensive rookie. If paying at 269, I want like a Flynn or I want a guaranteed 80 minimum for that price. If you're going to ever score me a 70 or a 60, more than like just one free game, I'm not going to be happy. So I can understand if people wanted to do it to make money, but I don't think he's going to be a good scorer. He needs to prove to me. He'll have to play 2 weeks to come out like smash 100 and 100. If he does that, I'll think about getting him. But otherwise, he's not really on my watch list, and I'd be very careful about getting him without having a hard look at him. What do you reckon, crew? Is there anything else to talk about? I just don't know with my trades. I just don't know. I mean, this could be the way, right? Don't trade. Undo. 2002 predicted. Confirm. Just hope that I win my league against my good friend Mark. As hard as that's going to be. Even he already seems to have, was this with or without Warner, that he seems to have more players on the field. Oh, sorry, we want game day. Why are you still saying, oh, I'm only going to get that? Oh, it's because I'm like, why is it only saying it's going to get 2,000 points? Please no. Gorn against Eagles this week. If they don't rest him, oh my God, Gorn could get. If Brayshaw gets 120, I'm not going to sure what to do. Like, surely Gorn's going to get 1,000,000 points, but what if they rest him? What if Melbourne are winning by like 80 points in the last corner? They're like, we'll just give the old Gorn a rest, sit him on the bench, like they kind of did last week, didn't they, or the week before? That would be an absolute disaster as well if we gave away like 120 score for Brayshaw, thinking that Gorn's going to go, going to kill him, going to kill probably Flynn. Please let it be Flynn. Please, Minnie, just let it be Flynn. So, yeah, I'm not too sure why, even though, because he had him off. So this way, Carroll, rookie on the field. Well, which won't be Carroll, it'll be Reed, but it's still a rookie on the field. Boyd, let's do your thing. Dale, Rankin, Carroll. So yeah, Reed on the field. That'll be Lindsay on the field. Hewitt on the field. So that's 3 rookies on the field. Whereas the only one he's got is Cleary. And 2, we might try and counter his Cleary with our Cleary, just in case Cleary comes out and gets an 80 or something again. It might be the way to go. Yeah, it's going to be hard to beat this team. It's going to be hard to beat this team, as the predictions are telling me right now. So, if I can't beat him, maybe no trading this week is just the way to go. If I get Warner in and he either gets the Bedford tag and gets another bad score, I can get him even cheaper next week. Well, the same price. He's got a 70 break even, so we can get him if he gets a 70, we'll get him at the same price next week. I don't think there's much likelihood of Petrarca getting a 70 unless some disaster happens for him. So if I want to get Petrarca, like we saw, we'd have to get rid of Trainer, and to get rid of Trainer, we're giving away 50k in the long run by doing that. Yeah, it's really indecisive about what I want to do, crew. So that's why I thought I'd jump on live and have a bit of a chat to you guys about my problems. Tell you my problems. See if anyone can help out. There's no one really chatting though, so you guys haven't been much help, but I do appreciate you watching. Give me a like and a thumbs up if you're watching. That would really help. That would at least make me happy. Hit that thumbs up, like, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I really don't. I think the smartest thing to do is not to trade and then go crazy with my 3 boosts in the next few weeks. Let's just talk about this too. I mean, I like to watch all the other content creators. There are a lot of them. At 3 boosts, I seem to have at least 1 more than most of them. Some have 2, some have 1. I know of at least 1 that has none. And a lot of them say, hey, when you want to get your team to full premium as early as possible. So if you're using boost to do that, fine. But I also hear a lot of them saying, oh, in the buys you get 3 anyway. This is correct. You get 3 trades anyway. But I'll tell you from last year, I'm pretty sure I used a boost during the buys last year. It can be pretty convenient to go 2 down and 2 up. When the buys, you go past that buy 12 or whatever, and you want Rosie and Horn Francis, say. You've got a little, cash pile saved up, and you can go 2 down and 2 up, or you might need to go 3 down to get a Bont, or that sounds like you're getting rid of a lot of your cash gem, but I'm not going to complain if I've got a boost left during the buys, and I wouldn't be surprised if I used a boost during the buys. Plus, I don't know how your buys are looking. The round 12 buy is not that bad for me. Dale, Sheasel and Daniel out, and DeConing, so they are 4 of my big guns, and the only one who I'd be getting rid of potentially before that time would be Dale. If we got to round 11 and Dale is still stinging it up, then that might be the time. Round 13, we got Brayshaw, Sinclair, we won't have Reed by then, and McRae. So there we've got 3 guys out. So that's not too bad either. We can live with that. All of those guys will still be in my team at that stage. That's fine. Round 14, got Roberts, got Bice, who may or may not be in the team at that time. If we have Callum Mills, he will also be in the team in this back line at that time as well, which will be, imagine having Roberts, Bice and Mills all in the back line. You're going to be, at best, and Trainer, you'd want to, obviously before this round is the round that Trainer needs to go. If I'm keeping Trainer, he needs to be gone before the end of this round. And the buy after that, round 15. So here's where it looks a bit, it's not that ugly. We've got a full back line. We've got these 2 boys won't be in the team at that time. Oliver may or may not be here. Rank may or will be here. Marich, possibly gone, possibly still have him. And Flynn, I'm hoping that Flynn's gone by that time, to be honest. I'm hoping Flynn's gone like in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time, get me another couple of hundreds, get up to 450, 500 if we're, really lucky, and then just jump into a gun midfielder, maybe using a stepping stone to one of those, Butters or Bonts, hopefully, who's fallen. Wouldn't it be great if he gets to 500k and Bont comes down to 600k? Yeah, colour rookie, get 100k, slap it on the head of Flynn, and next thing you know, you got Bont. That would be ideal. That's me dreaming about the future. Do we have any more buys? Round 16, Smith, Ashcroft probably won't be in the team at that time. Whitfield and Zorko, so that's going to be a bit brutal too. So most of my buys, it's okay. I'm going to be able to field 18, which the worst one is this. The one I don't like the most is this one. Probably that's probably the backline one is the one I don't like the most. This one and the one where I've got all the Sydney players with Mills, probably the ones. But like we said, if we've got a boost, we can pretty much solve our issues, right? We'll be able to solve all our issues if we have a boost. Alright, I think that's going to be enough, crew. I appreciate you guys hanging out, listening to my problems. If you're watching this video at a later date, hey, please let me know what you think. Do we get in Warner for the cheapest option? Do we get in Petrarca and get rid of Trainer and miss out on 50k? Or do we just not trade? Don't risk getting Huswaite. Wait till next week. Drop a boost next week. Try and we'll be able to get at least one Primo next week. That's the only problem. If we got one Primo as well this week, there's a potentially we could boost and get another Primo next week. I mean, we could then go, not like Reed down to Bustlinger and get another one up, one down next week. So potentially we could have got Warner and Petrarca in our team. You know, we get Warner this week and get Petrarca. I'm just scared about the tag for Warner, Bedford tag, and his up and down scoring. And to be honest, Petrarca obviously I think is good, and he's going to be good. He's going to be in most teams. You know, am I going to want him, or am I going to want Horn Francis? I'm not too sure. Yeah, lots of decisions. Let me know what you think, or do I just not trade at all? Save the 2 trades. We've got 26 trades. We make no trades this week, so that's a lot. That's in a pretty good position if we make no trades this week. But are we going to be behind the pack? That means if I can only get one, if we go, because yeah, even next week, even if I went 2 down, I can only go 1 up, right? So I'm not going to be able to go 1 down and 2 up. I'm not going to have enough money to do that. So with only 66k in the bank, I'm not going to have enough money to do that. So that's my other reasoning. If I go early on Huswaite this week, which I think Huswaite looks good and he's a feedable option. Yeah, you can feed him, but I think he's also a fieldable option. Just a matter of hopefully no disasters happen. If a disaster does happen, I only have now again I have the 2 non-playing rook, or the 3. We've had 3 most of the season. We thought Patton would come back and then we'd only have 2, but we have 3. We're using Henderson for a loop this week with Kako. We'll use the same, I think, with Hewitt. I think we can run a loop with Hewitt and Cleary. With Patton put Patton on if Hewitt has a big score. Like, we'll do something like this, I think. I'm pretty sure this is doable. Eagles play, and then Swans play after. Eagles play on Saturday, Swans play on Sunday. So yep, we put Hewitt gear. If he has a really good score, we slap Patton on. If he has an average score, we get Cleary's score. This is the other reason that I can hold this week. What if we got Warner and put him here and he gets a 70 and Cleary gets a 89 again? I mean, how disappointed would you be? How disappointed would you be? But I'm still thinking about doing it, to be honest. I mean, we can always chuck Warner in the midfield. Our loop here will be Kako playing on Thursday night. If he manages to get this a few goals, please let him get 3 or 4 goals, and then Cashgen can go up, get us like an 80, and we will take a Lindsay or somebody off the field. I'm a bit scared of having Murphy Reed on the field after he's 35, but maybe he bounces back. That's the other thing too. Like, there's a good chance that it's break even at 64. Murphy Reed could lose more money. He's probably not going to lose too much. If he got a 35 again, that'd be a disaster. But I mean, the other thing we could do, which sounds crazy to me, is go Hustwaite early this week. Go Murphy Reed to Hustwaite. I honestly think Hustwaite playing through the midfield has a better chance of getting a consistent 70-ish score. I mean, let's look at his heat map. I keep saying we're going to leave. We are going to leave, but I'm just enjoying hanging out with you guys. %, time on ground. Did he get CBAs? 36% CBAs, so that's pretty good for a rook. And right there in the guts in the middle. I mean, that to me, when Murphy Reed's up here, if Murphy Reed kicks a few goals, he can get a good score. But he can go very quiet. Here, Hustwaite, he's in the action. It's going to be very unlucky if he doesn't get the ball. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's it, crew. I think maybe we just decided. We go Murphy Reed down to Hustwaite early. Take the risk. Pray that he plays for at least the week after, which will be his first. So we look at him here. No money up this week. The week after, he's predicted to go up 31k. The week after, 7k, but that's only if he has a shit score. So, a couple of good scores. You know, we really need him to play for 4 more weeks. Next week, just play. The week after that, gets 30k-ish, hopefully more. If he gets a decent score, more like 50k. The week after, another 30 to 50k. So then he's made close to 100. If he could play for 3 weeks, probably a bit under 100 or around 100. If he could play for 4 weeks, a little bit over 100. What about Nash? When is he coming back? Hawthorn. Doesn't even mention him. Isn't that who he's played for? Isn't that who he came in for? Where are the teams from last week? Show me your teams. Last week. Connor Nash out, but they're not classing it as an injury. They're not saying he's injured. They're not saying he's injured. Connor Nash. Nothing about him being injured. I also like that the coach came out and said Hustwaite took his chance well. So yeah, maybe he plays enough and they don't even bring Nash back in. That'd be nice. If I do it this way though, crew, I got 250k in the bank. Yes, I might have to pay an extra, like we can't, like we said, if we could get straight from this Warner to Petrarca, we would do that. But we don't have enough. It's so close, but so far. He's 497. We need like 20k more. So we would actually need a player who's at 245,000. And that's why we need Trainer. He's 260. We don't have any other rookies at 245,000. I mean, or we could go Ashcroft. But I thought about going Ashcroft. If we went Ashcroft, we could get almost anyone we want. 600k. We could have a Dunkley, we could have a Lockie Neal. That's the other option. But I really do like having Ashcroft there. he gives us that flexibility. He can, he's getting reasonable scores. It's not like he's got a massive break even this week, I don't think. He's got a break even of 48, so he's probably going to go up more money. So we could do that, but we don't want to do that either. We don't want to get rid of Trainer. We don't want to get rid of Ashcroft. We don't have any more rookies that are about 240, except Cleary. We can't get rid of Cleary. He just got 89. Hewitt, he's not there yet. The same. What's his break even? It's negative 32. We'd be crazy to get rid of him. Henderson, dead weight. Kako, if Kako had had a couple of more decent games so far, he might have been on the chopping block. But maybe we do this, crew. Maybe we go early on Hustwaite, and then next week we're set up to use a boost. Another one down. Hopefully, I don't know who that's going to be. The only one that seems to be targeting, which is Buslinger, which I don't really want to be forced to get him, because then what I would probably do is I'd probably get rid of Trainer, right? Trainer's got a break even of 40 this week, so if he comes out and gets a medium score, what are they predicting for him? Say 71, I think that's pretty reasonable. He goes up 10k. Then if I hold him for one more week, he goes up another 20k. So whichever way I look at it, if I get Buslinger in next week, I'm probably losing 20k to gain. Like if Buslinger is not guaranteed to play enough games to make you 100 or 150k, so if he only plays enough games to make you 100k and I'm missing out on 20k here, I'm only really making 80k if you look at it that way, and that's not enough for a trade. So if there's no other downgrades next week, how am I going to upgrade? And I might even miss out on being able to get Warner then, because he might be too expensive. If he came out and smashed a reasonable score this week, 79 break even. If he gets 100 and say he gets 120, 32, 15k onto 20k more than what he is now, so he would be 481. See, if he gets 120, I can't afford him. If he comes out and gets 100 or less, I can still afford him if I still want him. But if he gets 100 or less, do we really want him? That's the question. If he comes out and gets an 80, do we want him? Probably not. If he comes out and, if he gets 60 because Bedford tags him, he'll go down even more money. We might be able to pick him up even less the week after. We might get him for like low 400s. Decisions, crew. Yeah, I really don't know. Anyway, I guess I'll make my decisions when the team, one of those three, it's going to be this, it's going to be no trades, this trade and save the money, or go Warner, or I don't think I'll be going Trainer to Petrarca. How much? I think it's going to be between just this trade to Chad Warner, or no trades at all. I think that's going to be what I do. Anyway, I'm going to call it quits there, crew. Thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up and leave me a like. I hope at least if you weren't able to help me out, leave a comment down there in chats and try and let me know what you think I should do. Hopefully some of the stats we went through, if you're thinking about the same things that I am, what you're going to do. Let me know if you're going to try the pod of Warner, or you're going to stick with the pack and go with Petrarca, or maybe you've got someone else. Maybe you're a Nick Martin kind of guy or girl. Okay, crew, I hope you all have a fabulous day, and I'll talk to you all soon. Have a good one.